A former U.S. Secretary of Education Arne Duncan was the 2024 commencement speaker at Wilbraham and Monson Academy. Duncan served as U.S. Secretary of Education as part of the Obama administration from January 2009 through December 2015. Prior to joining the Obama administration, he served as Chief Executive Officer of Chicago Public Schools. He currently leads Chicago Cred, a nonprofit trying to achieve a transformative reduction in gun violence in Chicago. The 2024 graduating class at Wilbraham Monson consisted of 82 students.